Alright, I'm about to show you how you can make just like that basic rage synth sound. You can also use it in like EDM tracks. Very versatile. And then I'm going to show you how you can like embellish it. And you can really use any software synth because it only requires just a basic square shape. Alright, so to start off, I'm just going to initialize the patch and restart it. And then just grab a basic square shape. And give it around 9 voices. Sometimes I'll go around like 7, but it really doesn't matter. Just what sounds nice. Bring the detune down. Bring it to around like 0.05. My blend is good. And now you should have something akin to like this. Alright, next is the filter. And you just do any low pass filter you like. For this one, I like to do the Moog Dirty filter. And then give the cutoff somewhere around the 2K range. I'm gonna do like probably around like 26, 68, somewhere around there. And then amp up the drive slightly to around like 12%. And then for the Moog Dirty filter, I'll just like to increase the pain mod just because I think it sounds cool. And then I'll bring the mix down just slightly to around like 78%, just to let that kind of high brightness kind of peek through a bit. And now you got something like this. And if you're playing on keyboard, you can amp up the release and then just lower the voices slightly, just to give you some breathing room between passing between chords. And then this second envelope shape is for a mod I'm gonna add that's gonna give it some like real character. So I'm gonna get it looking something like this. Yeah. Alright, now then, for that first little bit of embellishment, I'm going to take this second envelope shape and I'm going to route it to the filter's cutoff and its release. And on the cutoff, I'm going to have it go up less than slightly, like barely noticeable, around 4%. I'm going to have it go down kind of around in the same range, not that much, just like around like 13%. Right, and what that does is it just gives it a bit more flavor and a bit more of a inconsistent natural shape, so like this. Alright, next up is the effects. So for the distortion, I'm gonna do tube distortion, and I'm probably gonna set the drive pretty high, honestly, around like 89%, and then I'm gonna keep it maxed out. For the flanger, give it like I just keep it at like its stock kind of slower rate. And same. And then for the mix, probably around like 44%. Alright, now for the multi-band compressor, keep this kind of ratio setting. I'm going to amp up the gain quite a lot just because I want it loud. Alright, and then right here, this is where you get that actual multi-band effect, and I'm going to raise it pretty high too. It's around like somewhere around the 7,000 range, like right in the mid. And then this is what I was talking about, where I'm going to boost the highs pretty high and the lows. Alright, and now I'm going to add my own embellishment, which is this sort of EQ mod that I really like. So I'm going to start by, I'm going to take just 2 sort of bell shapes, and I'm going to slightly raise them, right? And then I'm going to move them. I'll let the first one carry kind of the body, and I'll keep it at around like 400. Somewhere around there. And then for the high bell shape, I'm gonna boost it somewhere in like the 7K range. Alright, and now then, this is where like the shape comes in. So, alright, I'm gonna route envelope 2 to the first frequency, and I'm gonna make it super not noticeable. Like I'm gonna make it like 3% again. And then I'm gonna grab an LFO, and I'm gonna just have it just like continuous. I'm gonna give it kind of a high rate. And then I'm gonna route this LFO to the second bell shape and bring it really down, not that noticeable. And then if you want, just afterwards you can just kind of cut anything below 100 hertz. And now you should have something like this, right? Now just layer that for the bridge and the intro with a synth bass, and then add your little flavorful top lines or whatever, and you got something like this.